Hello, hola, and buenas. Welcome back to Laguna Galaxiana, a podcast made with love. On tonight's episode, we'll be reacting to the LA Galaxy's 2-1 come from behind away win over Atlanta United on match day 12. We'll break down what the G's got right, the best moments from the second half, look at Pec's brace, and examine Marco Reus's impact on the match. We'll look ahead to the Galaxy's midweek match away at SKC, where they will be looking for some revenge. And we'll also bring you an MLS Matchday 12 roundup. Plus, a G is on loan in Oakland and has already announced himself with a banger. All of that and more coming up on Laguna Galaxiana. DJ, you know what to do. Spin that track. G's up!
Yeah. Let's get it started with a new year, new me. Una Galaxiana still reporting on the news feed, yeah. And you know who it be, the 6 stars from the jersey, putting work in the league. Word on the street, we rip teams immaculately. We see the players come and go, but I'm forever a G. And you can catch me yelling tactics on the field when I leave. Get it together like I'm Vanney when I'm giving a speech. Back to the pitch, score goals, dribbling tricks. I heard a transfer window rumor, let me see who it is. I got statistics on the player, puzzle pieces that fit. Con este show que es tan bilingüe que tu papi lo ve. Rápido pues, hablando de este club otra vez. En las buenas y en las malas, we got love for the crest, love for LA. Let's get it started, light up the stage. Every week on Monday night I'm tuning into the place. Yeah, you know what it is. Es Laguna Galaxiana, 4th season, Rob Ananda. And my name, ya te lo sabes.
Welcome back to Laguna Galaxiana, a podcast always made with love. I am one of your co-hosts, Rob Halon. Thank you so much for joining us once again tonight. You can find my written work online at the Sporting Tribune, and you can find me online at El Escudero de LA. And, of course, since I'm here back from his many travels, the cosmopolitan one, El Yerno Guapo and El Gitano Perdido, please welcome back to the chair my friend, Anandita Kirana. Papa, it's been forever since we've been here, it seems.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I met you, right? Anyways, if you know, you know.
A long time.
Exactly.
Okay, exactly.
That's like the first thing, that's the first thing that like popped into my head for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, no, we're back. We're back in the hot mics. We're back in the chairs. We're back talking LA Galaxy. And Papa, Sad Foo Hours is officially canceled for today. Glad Fool Hours, like you said in the chat. Elated Foo Hours, like the homie G Cam always says. And we're in this moment, so we got to cherish this. This has only happened 4 times this season, and so let's cherish every bit of it. But hopefully more to come. But a nice win for the LA Galaxy, no?
It is a nice win and an unexpected win, and to answer Marina Garcia 1336's question, yes, absolutely. I
have to get
wholeheartedly. I wholeheartedly support that. Nightmare. You know what? Tell the therapist about it. What's that meme? Tell him that the Galaxy are back up. Anyway. Ooh, and cool. Will, you got your Arsenal talk there, Ananda.
Shh. Don't jinx it.
Don't jinx it. All right. Well, the less said, the better about the Premier League title race. Ananda is, crossing his fingers that his team can outlast all the other teams. But anyway, guys, you know how we do on this humble little podcast. As Ananda is going to tend to the door, I will go ahead and let you guys know. Hey, there we have our mascot for the evening.
Her one-word reaction too. But anyways, you go first, Papa. While I
okay. Well, I already kind of revealed it or spoiled it. Spoilered it. Is that a word? And that's kind of unexpected. I mean, our colleague Josh Gessman has that stat of when the Galaxy gets scored on first, XXX. And it's never good. No, Tito, it's never good. And then so they got scored on first, and I was like, well, that's that. I mean, maybe they'll get the point. Maybe they'll come back and tie it up. And the fact that they were able to get all three, unexpected, surprisingly unexpected. So
Yep.
props to them. Good job.
I'm going to take it a different way, even though surprising. I think that's what I said about the last one against Vancouver, and we should have had all 3 points. That was a bummer. But I'm going to take it a different direction, Papa, and I'm going to use the word that you've used a couple times: necessary. Necessary. When you looked at that 3-game road trip, we said 3 points have to be in the bag against Atlanta and SKC, right? We said that just from a
truth.
These are winnable games, even on the road. We know that MLS, it's tough on the road, but the Galaxy have no CCC, so it's one. Other than this week, it's 1 game a week. And the other thing too is this is we're going to talk about later, but this is the first triumph for the Galaxy when they're behind. And so they need to start building that necessary muscle memory of how do we get back into games when games don't start our way. We can't fold and see what we did or what we have been doing for the Galaxy really in the past year and a half. And they need to start building that muscle memory of how do we get back into games? How do we salvage 1 point and 3 points when we're behind? And I want to see more of that because this is a characteristic of the 2024 team. We use the word a lot, resilience, during that season, and the Galaxy showed that. And to me, that was necessary. This is a necessary step to get to that goal. We need to see more of it.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the whole Vancouver thing. The Galaxy were 4 minutes away from putting together a nice little 3-game winning streak against Real Salt Lake, and then of course it would have followed Vancouver, and then now against Atlanta United. Yeah, just 4 minutes away from a kind of like a really quick turnaround from a really bad start to the season. And I mean, it's kind of been the theme of what we've been talking about is, are they turning a corner? Sir Dave says they also discovered forward passing. Yeah, there's been a little bit of that too. There's been a lot of, Greg's credit to Greg. We kind of joked about it. Like people have been injured. So he's had to play people where, he's had to play them. And it's worked out. But also, this team has been showing a couple of different traits that are allowing it to win. We'll get into all that, but anyway, if you're here, we thank you so much for doing so. You could be doing anything right now, and you're hanging out with us. We do appreciate it. There are now over 150 cuneros. We appreciate all the love. Me and Ananda talk about it all the time. Like we're like, what can we do to make this show better for you guys? As we always say, go ahead and write in. Go ahead and let us know in chat what you're feeling, what you're not feeling. We always strive to make this show for you enjoyable and better, so you guys have a one-stop shop for all your Galaxy Lania stuff. And I'm really glad that today is Gladful Hours. If you do got something to get off your chest, if you just got a shout out from the mountaintops, you're just so happy that you got to say, Rob, Ananda, I got something to say. You know what to do. Super chats are available. And then if you are on X and on Instagram, jump on over, see us on YouTube. I assure you the experience is a lot better. Ananda keeps lying to me and tells me that we're on Blue Sky. I don't even think that's true at this point. I've researched it now a couple times, and lies, I think. But anyway, prove me wrong, Ananda. Prove me wrong.
You know what? I'm not even gonna say anything. I'm just gonna hit up David Goss and be like, hey Dave, can you just DM Rob real quick and send him a screenshot as one of our collaborators on Blue Sky. So there you go. I'm just gonna take it from the authority. Don't listen to me.
All right, cool. Well, he is an authority, and shout out to him as well. Shout out to all those boys over there, Tommy and the like. Well, Ananda, should we get into some shout outs? I mean, we got to tell the people where to stalk you, though, right? Or did you?
Yeah. Well, you could do that. You guys can always follow me, block me, or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana, as I always said. And by the way, welcome to Pups at the Pod today. So, guys, thanks for allowing me to share about that. And then what else, Papa? You can find us on all of our socials at Laguna Galaxiana. Rob talked about it. If you guys do enjoy the show, please do us a favor. Hit the like, hit the subscribe on your way in, on your way out. Hit that notification bell so that you know when Rob and I are on. And by the way, like we have these instant reaction pods now that we're doing. We have live pressers. So guys, hit that subscribe button. That's the best way you're going to know when we are live. And Papa, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches. Y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de Glad Foo Hours.
Glad Foo Hours. And yeah, look, I want to add to that because, you know, I know all you Jews out there watch the game and you guys, you know, have all your traditions before, like, you know, okay, I gotta sit in this place in front of the TV. You know, I gotta wear my lucky socks. I gotta wear the jersey that I was wearing when I saw them win the 2014 championship, you know, a bunch of other traditions. I want you guys to remember to add as a tradition after the game, jumping on the stream with us, because we will take you backstage into the Galaxy's press conference, and you can go ahead and follow along and hear from the team live and direct right after the game, what they're thinking, what the keys of the game were, and all that other stuff. And of course, we'll have a quick instant reaction to follow. But I want you guys to start remembering that right after the game, press conference, Laguna channel. Let's make it happen. But anyway, we will go ahead and keep reminding you. But yeah, start making that a game day tradition. Going into the shoutouts, guys, we told you about the Bonmati camp. She is back on the field, so now we know for sure. I mean, we will be basking in the great one's presence. There's 2 camps, San Diego and Los Angeles. And I'm just going to be in Los Angeles. He'll go ahead and run you through things if you're there with your young one. And of course, if you are there with your young one, Laguna 26 is the code to get $50 off your registration fee. This camp is open to boys and girls, 6 to 16. All skills levels are welcome. And yeah, man, I mean, this is going to be a really good way to get instruction from coaches that are UEFA licensed. And like I said, yes, most likely Aitana will even lead some of the sessions. So go ahead and check that one out. For more info, usaitana.bonmaticamp.com. Ananda, I am getting the biggest case of FOMO, man, because I won't be here for that. But you're gonna have to hold it down, you know, for the Laguna crew, and you're gonna have to send me pictures and of course send me pictures of Aitana Bonmati, blood. I mean,
yeah, well, I mean, I gotta hold it down because you're gonna be holding it down with the Ecuadorian faithful, los ecuatorianos, ahí para tu equipo que te amas. Pues mira,
vamos. All right. Well, speaking of things que amamos, I mean, it's an easy one. I mean, happy Mother's Day to all la madres G's out there. Ananda, your mom, you know, she's ever since we met her, she's been just like such a ray of sunshine, man. She's a wonderful person. So happy Mother's Day to her. Happy Mother's Day to you know, all the G's, all the players, because I love the graphic that they always run. That's like, you know, Lorraine's mom, so-and-so's mom, you know.
Yeah, we'll pull that up later.
So-and-so's son, so-and-so's son. So anyway, yeah, happy Mother's Day to all las G's madres out there.
And most importantly, happy Mother's Day to Mama Jalón, man. The one woman who taught you that la tóxica is your fault, Papa. It's all your fault.
Yeah, man. She was she watched the game with me the other day, and honestly, like, I should have just recorded her because it would have made for a lot of comedy on this podcast. Maybe that'll be a segment that we'll start doing. Shit my mom says during Galaxy games. A lot of it is not repeatable for the kids, actually. So I don't know how well that's going to go. But you know, it may do for a quick little fun segment. But anyway, shout out to all the moms. Happy Mother's Day. Mama te quiero. Happy birthday to JT Marcinkowski. His birthday was on the 9th. And you know what? Happy birthday, because he is damn took over that number 1 efficiently, and he never looked back, and it seems like every game he's justifying it more and more. being the number one. So happy birthday to him. Hopefully he was surrounded by friends and family. Congratulations to Gabriel Pec for making the team of match day 12 for his brace. I mean, there was a couple of players out there that had braces as well and hat tricks, or else, you know, this man probably would have had MLS player of the match day, but making the team of the match day, not bad at all for this guy. It's good to see him get on the offensive trend going. And then really quick, we wanted to say, forza to Joseph Paintsil. It seems like over the weekend, he was the target of racist abuse again. This has been the fourth or fifth time that Joseph has been targeted. I mean, first and foremost, no one should be coming at a player for any misses or any perceived slights or any perceived underperformances, but then to take it into the realm of racism is absolutely reprehensible. And I really hope that the person that perpetrated this act really gets counseling, really gets help. If that help, comes swiftly for them, hopefully, but yeah, everybody knows that this is JP's favorite podcast. So, of course he's going to hear this when I say, we're with you, it's something that I know that he's dealt with in the past. It does affect him. And not to put his business out there, but it would affect anybody getting this kind of abuse, and no one should have to deal with it, especially from people that supposedly are Galaxy fans. You're not a Galaxy fan. Sorry about it. That's not what the community's about. I mean, it's been a while since I've been in the stands, but trust me when I say no one that I've known in this community is about that. And yeah, like I said, we stand with JP. That's about it, man. I don't know what else to say about that.
No, I mean, there's nothing left to add. I think you covered it beautifully. And I mean, honestly, like some of these people, I just don't even know if they're like, I don't even like why even waste your time? I don't even waste my time with people like this. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Big Leo, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh man, it's been a while since we've seen you in the flesh, man. Just sending my love and just a big hug out your way. He says, "Happy Mother's Day to the mamas and my new wife Patricia." Hey, it was a good weekend. Barcelona won, Chivas won, Galaxy won, America lost. I'm so glad you had a wonderful weekend. Shout out to your lady Patricia. Man, and like I said, shout out to all the mamas out there. Man, I mean, I'm some slamming pancakes, blood. Ooh, Charles. Anyway, more on Lacuna cooking after dark. So, guys, getting into some VCFC news. Those boys tied Portland Timbers 3-3 in regulation. That was their latest opponent, but then they went and beat Portland Timbers 2 in penalty 7-6. In regulation, he had goals by Vicente Garcia, Mason Vanney, and Eric Preston. And now that win takes them to third place after 11 matches played. They're on 19 points, a 4-4-3 record, 19 goals for, 16 against, and a +3 goal differential. And Ananda, they have a biggie on the cards next. It's El Traficito, and that'll be Saturday, May 16th at 7 p.m. at Rollinson Stadium at USC. So, yeah, it'll be pretty accessible, for people that want to go ahead and check this match out. It is El Traficito. I know it's been pretty well attended in past iterations, so go ahead and check it out. Saturday, May 16th at 7 p.m. Ananda, this might be the opportunity we've been waiting for. No words. You're speechless.
I'm like, wait. On which part? The El Traficito?
going to go support VCFC in a match.
I know, but remember we haven't even made it to the Willie roll. Let alone
Hey, look at you! I love it. Yes.
Oh yeah. We got to make it to the Willie roll at some point.
Oh yes, Willie roll. It's a thing. Anyway, shout out to the LA Galaxy Special Olympics Unified Team. They went out to Atlanta as well. Their match was directly after the Galaxy's match against Atlanta United, and they fought to a 3-3 tie. That result extends the team's unbeaten streak, which dates back to the start of last year, Ananda. This team has been invincible for over a season. Shout out to them. Matthew Torres, who was last year's Golden Boot winner, had a brace against Atlanta. He scored in both the opening minute and at the end of the match. They were trailing 3-2 in the second half, and then Galaxy Unified rallied to secure the draw with, of course, Torres's goal in the dying moments. Prior to the match, excuse me, prior to the match, Greg Vanney himself met with the team, and he gave them words of encouragement. And, of course, Galaxy First Team players were there to watch their colleagues play at Mercedes-Benz Stadium and battle to the draw. So shout out to them. Unbeaten, man, since last season. That's incredible. Shout out.
Awesome. Shout out to them.
I really don't like this one, man. I really don't like this one, especially because everybody knows that, I have a really big affection for this guy. I've enjoyed covering him since he joined the team. And like I've always said, he makes a damn banger. But it seems like Joseph Paintsil is being linked to Turkey once again. Of course, he was already playing in Turkey at the beginning of his career before he was loaned out to in Turkey before he went back to Genk. But now he's being linked to Trabzonspor in Turkey. They've actually been tracking him for quite a while. I don't know if you remember, Ananda, last transfer window or the one before that, they were looking at him, or there was some kind of like chatter that they were looking at him, but they have never really died this interest down in Joseph. Just like it was when he joined the Galaxy. I mean, I was tracking that one for quite a while. I started kind of like trolling the Turkish websites here, and it seems like it's pretty credible. I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask Greg or hopefully even Will about this, but they all claim that there's some clause, and well, not all of them, but there's several of these outlets in Turkey that claim that Joseph has a free agent clause in his contract. I don't know what that could be about. I don't know how reputable these outlets are, but I certainly don't want to see him leave, and especially not for the market value of $6 million that is being reported. Of course, he's an attractive player. I mean, he's what is it that Greg Vanney said the other day? I mean, well, he's just fast as hell, and then he's versatile. He can play across any of the front three positions. So it's natural that other teams would be looking at him. This team has been looking at him for quite a while. I mean, if I were the Galaxy, I don't think I'd let him go for $6 million. I mean, you'd be crazy to, right, Ananda?
Yeah, because we bought him for $8 million. Is that right? 10, 8?
Closer to 10,
yeah, because
right?
Gabriel Pec was more. Gabriel Pec was 12, right? Because both of them were 20 combined. That's what I remember. 12 and 8, I think it was. Anyway, 6 million euros. So you're looking at maybe $7 million. I mean, you're kind of getting your return on investment at that point. So it's really, was the squeeze worth it kind of thing? Like, did you get as much out of it? Of course, Joseph helped the Galaxy win 2024 championship. And I think his contract is until 2027, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. Look, I think first things first, Papa, does he make the Ghana squad? And if he does, what does he do in the World Cup? Does he have a big part to play? Is he going to play a bit part? Does that affect his transfer value at all? Does that affect the number of clubs looking at him? Because then if you could drive, if you're in a point where you can drive the price up, now that becomes kind of interesting, right? But it's all going to depend on squad building. It's all going to depend on Wilkins. And then obviously he's got a lot of squad building that he probably wants to do after the World Cup or during the break. So we'll see. It's an interesting thought, but I think there's still a lot of dominoes that are still need to fall here in this place. But for now, for me personally, as if I put my fan hat on, I'm happy with Joseph. Like I want him to stay at least another year or so to see what he can do with the Galaxy team.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I mean, of course, I don't live his life, so only he can say if it's the moment or not. But from the outside looking in, I don't think it's the moment. I mean, I feel like, especially like we're going to be talking about. I mean, there's unfinished business, and I think that this team is starting to round into form, and you know, with a World Cup break coming up soon, and them starting to make moves, and them being able to fortify and hopefully get better, I think there's an opportunity for Joseph to eat. But we'll report on this as it develops. Of course, nothing is done. This is a transfer rumor at the moment, and we'll certainly go ahead and try to speak to the proper folks about this. So see if there's anything there. But like I mentioned, this one is a recurring one, so I don't think there's nothing there. So we'll let you know. But one that did happen recently is Tucker Lepley being loaned out to Oakland Roots. A couple weeks ago, I went on a mini rant about where is Tucker, give him a chance. Well, it seems like he's not going to get that chance because he's been loaned out to the Oakland Roots or Oakland Roots. I don't know if he's put a the in front of it, but they reached an agreement with the Galaxy to loan the midfielder for the remainder rather of the 2026 campaign. And of course, as part of the agreement, the Galaxy retained the right to recall Tucker at any time. And what does this man do? Like, I mean, I always say he's a dog, man. He is an absolute dog. He's a player, man. I know that he was kind of, late to getting up to the Bay because he actually had to get up there. And so he gets up there pretty late, after a long drive. And then he comes on to play around 40 to 45 minutes and scores a game winner, Ananda, a freaking thunder bastard of a goal. Just a beautiful curler in his debut to give his team the win over El Paso 2-1. I mean, this is a guy that has some quality, so hopefully he gets the time to go ahead and develop, and he just wasn't playing, man. So I want to, as much as I hate to see him not be with the Galaxy, I want him to play.
He needs to play. He needs to play. Yeah, I even said it. I can't remember when I said it or where I said it, maybe on a different pod, but I was like, what does Tucker Lepley need to do to get minutes? And if he's not, like, let him play somewhere else. Like, whether that's, either selling him or loaning him. Like, look, he's obviously, we drafted him, right? He's a UCLA product. He's a local lad. I would love to keep him, but I'm thinking for the betterment of the player, like the player needs to develop. Like Tucker needs minutes, man. Like he's, his growth is getting stunted by sitting on the bench and just riding on the bench. So this is a good move for him, in my opinion. Hope he kills it there. And then when he comes back, we'll see where he has a place in the team, right? But if he's not getting any minutes for the Galaxy, then he needs to play. So I'm happy for him. I hope he kills it, like I said. And he's obviously, especially after that event and everything, like he's just a really, really good person, really good kid with a bright, future and good head on his shoulders. And Godspeed to him, man. I hope he does well.
Well, he already started it off with a bang, like I said. But it was interesting because after that Tucker rant that I had a couple weeks ago, I started thinking to myself, in in matches where we've seen folks like and no shade, but in fact, in moments where we've seen guys like Ruben Ramos, or even I was wondering when Troy Elgersma got signed to a short-term contract, why sign Elgersma to a short-term contract when there's Tucker Lepley? Like, what are they bringing to the table that Tucker is not? Well, it seems like there's enough there with Elgersma that Greg Vanney likes for the Galaxy to have signed him to a first-team contract through the end of 2026. So it seems like Tucker being loaned out has made room for Elgersma to go ahead and get signed to that first-team contract. Of course, he does have club options for the sprint season, the 27-28 season, and the 28-29 season. He did make his debut in the 90th minute of the Galaxy's draw against the Whitecaps, and Will Kuntz had this to say: Troy has been a consistent performer and great teammate since joining the club, and he's taken advantage of every opportunity he's been given. He's impressed our staff with his work rate, his intelligence, and versatility in training with the first team. We believe Troy has earned this opportunity, and we look forward to his continued growth with the Galaxy. Yeah, I mean, truth be told, I haven't seen enough of Elgersma's game. I'd like to see a little bit more. I guess we're going to have to definitely check in on those repeats or replays of VCFC. But anyway, shout out to him for joining the first team. Once a G, always a G. Ananda, are you ready for an MLS roundup? I mean, there were a lot of good games here this weekend.
Dale, bro.
All right, here is your MLS roundup for match day 12. Inter Miami earned a 4-2 away win over Toronto, powered by goals from DePaul, Suarez, and Messi. The New York Red Bulls beat the Chicago Fire 3-1 on the road. Montreal scored the 2-0 win over Orlando with 2 injury time goals. Charlotte and Cincinnati played to a 2-2 draw as Charlotte rescued a point at home in a come-from-behind tie. Nashville and DC United played to the same score in the Music City, with Warren Madrigal getting the brace. Minnesota and Austin also tied 2-2 in Minnesota as former G Christian Ramirez scored the game-tying goal. New England overcame Philadelphia 2-1 at home after Philly scored first. Dallas beat RSL 3-1 at home. St. Louis City beat Colorado away 1-0 with both teams down to 10 men. The top 2 teams in the West, San Jose and Vancouver, played to a 1-1 draw in the Bay with another goal by former G Preston Judd. Seattle and San Diego also put up a 1-1 scoreline in Seattle as San Diego continues its winless streak. NYCFC cruised to a comfortable 3-0 win behind a Hans Wolf hat trick. Houston dismantled LAFC 4-1 on the road with the Jack McGlynn brace leading the way, while Portland ran up the score on the Galaxy's next opponent, Kansas City, by a 6-0 scoreline. Your league leaders still are Nashville and San Jose. And speaking of Kansas City, we'll go ahead and break into a quick little preview later in the show. But before that, of course, we got to go ahead and bring you this Galaxy versus Atlanta match recap. And this is as good a time as ever to remind you to put someone on, man. Like if you go ahead and check out the show, if you dig the show, go ahead and let one of your loved ones know, hey, check out this show. I know you're a Galaxy fan. Go ahead and check it out, man. But Ananda, let's start where we are. We'll start con la alineación, el once. Go ahead and break down what you saw in this starting 11.
Yeah, so again, Rob talked about the Mother's Day graphic earlier, so this is kind of cool. As always that they do for Mother's Day, but yeah, for the audio listeners, let me just read it out. So JT Marcinkowski in goal, clear number 1 now. Back 4 of Nelson, Garces, Glesnes, and Mauricio Cuevas. Midfield 3 of Sergio Hawk and Sanabria, and then a front 3 of Pec, Paintsil, and Harbor Miller on the left. I think the more interesting parts, Papa. So on the bench, we had Eric Tommy, who returned back into the bench, and also Marco Royce was part of that bench as well. That included Maya Yoshida, Elijah Winder, and Elgersma. So Yeah, I think for me, it's what I just said there, just the notables that were on the bench, but also that Sanabria started as part of that midfield three in the number 10, at least to start the game. Hack and Serio with that double pivot. Greg chose to go for the 4-2-3-1, more of a traditional double pivot. And then Papa, which something that I've thought was interesting because we had talked about this as a talking point the last few games, but this is the third straight start for the Glesnes and Emi Garces partnership. So it seems as though Greg has chosen his first choice center back partnership. But
starting to establish that partnership.
Yep, 3 games, still a long way to go, but that looks like that's where it's trending for now. So any surprises? Pretty team picks itself. Happy with the lineup?
No, I mean, like I said, I mean, we knew kind of what Greg was going to go with because of the injuries. I mean, like we weren't off on our predictions too much. So now this is pretty. I think the only thing I had wrong was I think I went with. I think I called that Reus was gonna start. And obviously that didn't happen, but he became the focal point after he came on, and so he is quite obviously our player spotlight.
Yeah, what a hell of a game for Marco Reus, right? I think he, like you just mentioned, he completely flipped the game on its head when he came in. I'll pull up his sort of one sheet here. When you look at the overall, Papa, I remember he came in the 65th minute, so he only played a third of the game, right? For the lack of a better word, like, I mean, he came in and completely changed it. I mean, I just go straight to what is Marco Reus on this team for, Papa? It's to create chances. It's to serve up his teammates, serve it on a silver platter, and let them cook. Look at that, Papa. Chances created 3, all of them big chances, all of them key passes, and all of them big chances. And so that's the thing with Marco Reus, right? It's like it's the quality, it's the weight of the ball, it's the service. I'm going to break down to a little bit of some stills of just how ridiculously good Marco Reus is, like technically and just the brains. Like that guy he's a smooth operator. He's just super efficient with his movement and his touches.
Smooth operator.
Exactly. If you know, you know. And even on the right there, Baba, like you see when he's in the offensive zone, I mean, he had to play a couple of back passes, I'm sure, when we were 2-1 up, and we had to secure the ball and keep the ball for the last 13 minutes or so. But if you look at all those passes in the offensive third, or sorry, in the offensive half, they're all mostly forward passes or cutbacks, right? You get to the byline, you get to the side, and you look for that cutback, and that's what Marco Reus did on several occasions. But I just wanted to show that, like, because we can talk about like the stats and everything, but really for me, it's the eye test. That's the thing about Marco Reus for me, and just his intelligence, right? I'm going to give you guys a couple stills, and this is something that we do with. I know XPH called it out the other day. You know, RIP to Los Galácticos. But this is some of the things that
shout out Los Galácticos. Yeah,
deep cut. But anyways, just like to show you guys some stills, and just to like appreciate the talent and the vision of Marco Reus. This is the first goal, right? Heading into this is the replay of the first goal. You look at this, and you've seen passes, you've seen guys to say, you know what, I'm going to play that split ball right down the middle. But you know what he does? He chose the green option, which is the top, because the defender, he's running back. So he knows that, you know what, defender's momentum is going that way. He's not going to go the other way and steal the ball. So
he's going to have to turn his body as well.
And he's going to have to turn his body and decelerate, which Gabriel Pec is already at top speed, right? So he just, I don't know how he intelligently just thinks of that in a split second, but he knows, like, it's like he's played this game for over probably the better part of 20 years of his life. He knows that if Gabriel Pec gets this ball 1v1, he's gone, and he has him right where he wants him, right? And then you see there, on that play, he finished the goal. This is the second one, Papa. This is how the play started, right? You see Marco Reus there on the right side. After, by the way, a brilliant piece of movement, cut inside like he faked like he was going to receive the pass in the middle, and then bombed the other way, went behind the center back, and he lost the center back. And now it's 3v3. And you look at this and you say, ooh, can Marco maybe could have played JP right there, right? If he picked his head up, and you think the play is gone. But what he's thinking is maybe, you know, the keeper's right there. I've seen keepers cut this out. He's in a good position. If I play that ball, it's got to be inch perfect. And JP might have to take an extra touch, which, by the way, Later, he had a very similar situation, and JP missed the goal, right? But he slows down the game. He lets the defenders react, and now he's got almost a 3v2 situation. One of the defenders is completely out of the play, and he sees that cutback to Gabriel Pec, and now he's giving his attacker to say, where do you want it, Gabriel? Do you want it far post to the left, keeper's right? You're in the middle, right? So instead of shooting at an angle where you cut off the angle, the goalkeeper can cut off one of the options, you give it to the guy in the middle, and that's the best place for an attacker to shoot. In the middle of the park, right? In the middle of the box, at the top of zone 14, at the top there, so that the attacker now has the option of shooting it left or right. Now, funny enough, he shoots it right at the keeper, and he gets a little lucky, right? And gets the bounce, but at least he gives his players that option. But what a heady play for Marco Reus. And this is one of those cutbacks that we saw in that pass map. But you compare this to what did I say on COC Network? I said, in the final third, Marco Reus is the guy you want to make the final play, right? Because when you don't have Marco Reus making the final play, stuff like this happens. This is Gabriel Pec just minutes later, Papa. In this play, Gabriel Pec actually takes the shot and the keeper saves it. But look at that space for Marco Reus. Again, what did I say about the cutbacks? At the top of the zone, top of zone 14, at the top of the box, that's a clear shot to the left or the right of the keeper. Gabriel Pec gets a little selfish, takes a shot himself. Keeper makes a decent save, right? Next play, JP, just minutes after that. This one hurt. Look at that defender on the left. He's completely sat down. JP sat him down. And then JP tried to take the shot with his left. When again, the cutback right on the top, just lay it on a plate for Marco. And boy, Marco Reus could have had 2 goals in this game, right? But it's those fine margins. It's those moments where Marco Reus makes the right play every time. And it's always the right play, because it's either he's super open and he's one-on-one against the keeper and he's going to have a high percentage of the shot, or he's unselfish and he gets his players involved. But it's always the right play, right? And that's the thing. Like, the last thing I'm going to say about this is, I guess he does fit that stereotype of German players being highly efficient. Like, he's such an efficient player with his movement, with his passing, just the way he moves about the pitch. He knows where to put his guys in position, the best positions to succeed. That's a huge quality that we miss without Ricky Puig, and Marco Reus is slowly taking that mantle. He's on the wrong side of the career, the wrong side of 30, and we can't expect him to play 90 minutes every game. But when he does play minutes for you, they're very good minutes, and he's shown that, at least for this year.
Yeah, I mean, he comes on in this game, has his cameo, and shows what he can do. And that's, in an ideal world, the way the Galaxy would be using Marco Reus. I mean, he was never meant to play 90 minutes. I mean, he was always supposed to be Ricky Puig's backup. You know, after Ricky Puig had run the other team ragged, Marco Reus would come on and be just like the death knell for them, because his quality would come in and just destroy. But we don't live in that world. He's been instrumental to the Galaxy. I mean, and just, he can't play those 90 minutes every single game. I wish he was Benjamin Button, but he's not. Yeah, soccer IQ makes a world of difference. It's
huge.
Some soccer IQ is better than talent,
And Lex makes a really good point here. Shout out, Lex, man. Thanks for being in the chat, Papa. He says geometry and physics that footy players need to calculate in 1 second is so underrated. It's the difference between a decent pro and world class. 100%. And you see that in the decisions made between Marco Reus and JP and Pec. I'm not saying that JP and Pec are bad players. I'm just saying that difference is minute, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a huge difference between a really good player and world class. And Marco Reus is world class.
He is. And if you didn't catch his cameo in this match, well, you missed it. You missed a player at the top of his abilities. I mean, yes, Gabriel Pec here pictured, got the brace, but the man that pretty much put it on a plate for him was Marco Reus. Don't get us wrong here. Gabriel Pec has a lot to do on that first one, but that second one, certainly, he just pretty much has to place it right. He doesn't, gets his own rebound and puts it away. But like I said, if you missed this one, the first half was scoreless. We will talk about a controversial and polemic play there in the first half that could have altered this match. But this this Galaxy team, of course, would concede. They go behind to an Johnny Fortune goal, a nice solo golazo to put the hosts up 1-0. And then Reus comes on, and the game just turns. For the first goal, the Galaxy breaks out in transition. Shout out COC Network, who's also talking about the Galaxy actually being better as a transition team. And they broke out with a really well-worked interchange by Reus and Paintsil to spring the ex-German international in the middle of the park. And then, like you showed Ananda in that graphic, he makes no mistake to pick out Pec for Pec to go ahead and carry that ball in for the 1-0. And then just 5 minutes later, they hook up again. Those two guys, you showed again in the still. Marco Reus cuts it back, and Gabriel Pec finishes by getting his own rebound, and that's where it would end. I mean, it was a little nervy there at the end, but the defense holds, and they get the 3 points. I just want to bring one thing up. I've seen a little chatter in chat about how, Paintsil missed this, or you brought it up, Pec missed that, or he made the wrong decision on the final pass. I guess my question is just, and it's kind of more just rhetorical than anything. I'm not trying to prove any point or anything like that, but I mean, yes, I mean, they are being wasteful, but I mean, at least they're creating, right? I mean, at the beginning of the season, they weren't even creating, and now they're actually creating. And I mean, 6 of the 10 shots that they took were on goal. I mean, that's decently efficient for an MLS stat. If I'm wrong, push back. But I mean, it seems like that's pretty efficient, right?
No, yeah, and that's a fair point to bring up. I think the only thing is, now we saw this in 2024 too, Papa. The Galaxy had created more than 6-8 big chances like every single game, and the 2024 team was so good at creating chances. And in the beginning of the season, they struggled to finish those, right? There was a few draws in the first few months of the season. But like I said, towards, I would say, the last 10 games, the Galaxy really found their flow, and they started to convert to big chances. And that's when you saw the big score lines. 4-1, what was it, 6-2 against Minnesota in the playoffs, right? Those big score lines started to come. So for this team that doesn't have a big margin for error like the 2024 team does, they have to convert some more of their chances. So I think what we could say is, we want to see this trend to continue. We want to see this trend of big chances continue. And since you're there, Papa, I'm going to bring up the box score right now, because you see there that, for me, my one key stat was just that the Galaxy created 6 big chances. I was trying to look in the history of if this was the game that the Galaxy created the most big chances in league play. I still need to verify that, but I want to say it has. But the other one key stat is, Papa, we need to just finish we need to put the game to bed a little bit earlier. 4 big chances out of those 6 missed. That's still a little too much. You'd like to see more, closer to a 50% conversion rate. Again, 3 out of 6 big chances means you score 3 goals. And when you score 3 goals, you're going to have a high likelihood of winning games, especially when you have Jakob Glesnes back there. So yeah, but like you said, I think we have to credit the Galaxy for creating big chances, especially, Papa, when the game state, as I said in the top of the show, when the game state, the Galaxy are behind. The Galaxy could have easily dropped their heads, which is something that we saw earlier in the season and even all of 2025. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, but they didn't do it.
But I think we have to credit the LA Galaxy's mentality. I'm going to pull up a tweet from our friend, Mr. Josh Gessman, a corner of the Galaxy. He says the Galaxy's 2-1 win on Saturday was the first time in at least 29 games, at least the records that he keeps, which, by the way, is, I'm going to take that as gospel, that the Galaxy have allowed the first goal and gone on to win. They had an 0-14-8 record last year, 0-4-2 record this year when allowing the first goal. And I think this is huge, Papa. And this is the mentality shift. This is the necessary thing that I was saying in my one-word reaction, is that they need to start building this muscle memory. And in fact, you asked Greg post-match, and unfortunately we didn't have the instant reaction this time, but you did get to ask Greg a question about basically, well, actually, you know what? We're going to hear this question because there's going to be, you're going to hear the voice of a young, up and coming, good looking reporter. And you're going to hear the head coach, Greg Vanney's answer to that question in a little bit.
We should get him on the show.
And this is where Greg talks about mentality. So, guys, this is your head coach.
The team goes down and then fights back, gets 3 points, big points on the road. What allowed you to go ahead and make adjustments and get back into this game and then take it? Thank you.
Yeah, I just think we knew at some point in the game, and it was probably about 30 minutes left, that we wanted to get Marco out. We were going to get the double pivot that was Justin and Eddie. We were going to get out and try to get a little bit more attacking minded. Just kept trying to bring in fresh legs. And the guys kept working. They stayed with it. Again, we were able to turn some good defending and ball recovery into some transitions that got us out into the open. And as the game progressed, we started having Marco making some of those decisions, and with his quality of timing and where he's putting the ball, Gabe makes a couple great plays, obviously, and finishing them off. We probably had a few more if we were a little more clinical in the final action, and we could have maybe breathed a little easier down the stretch. But again, the group just strong mentality. They stayed with it. And they kept just doing the work, again, defending and finding opportunities in transition. But I thought we did a little better tonight, especially as the game progressed and building out from our half of the field. So there were some good things to take away, but most importantly, it's just been the mentality over these last stretch of games has been outstanding, and that's what you need to win on the road. None of these games are easy, so really proud of the guys for the compete that they brought today and in the fight and sticking with it.
Yeah, man. We always talk about it, man. The mentals, the chickens, and that's
it.
They showed it to come back.
That's half the battle, right? Mentality is definitely half the battle. I mean, Greg said it. The group had a strong mentality and kept with it. They kept doing the work. Part of that's the nastiness too, like combined with a little bit of that, right? That mindset shift, that mentality shift, which I think the Galaxy
dirty like Christina.
Which I think the Galaxy are like starting to embrace that characteristic a little bit. But Papa, as we know though, mentality is half the battle. Like that gets you a ticket, right? That gets you a ticket to the lottery. But to close the deal and to finish off, you've got to execute. You've got to execute in key moments. And at least for this 90 minutes, the Galaxy did just enough and they executed just enough in the right moments to get all 3 points in Atlanta.
Yeah, and one of the guys that executed, and it was very gratifying. We already talked about it, to see him executing, was Gabriel Pec, who got the brace here. We did talk about how Marco Reus does set him up pretty nicely, but he still needed to execute and take his chances. And we talked about the Galaxy. Could the Galaxy be rounding into form? Well, it'll be an extremely beneficial moment for Gabriel Pec to go ahead and come alive. If the Galaxy do want to round it back into form, it would be coinciding with this man's resurgence. I mean, he took the most shots in this match, completed the most dribbles. We did talk about it. His decision making, Nana brought up the still, it has been a little shoddy. He missed 2 out of 4 big chances as well. But I do want to talk about how, we've even talked about here on this pod how he's been underperforming. And I even brought up the fact that Paintsil had 4 goals and assists and since his comeback. When I talked about it, he had 4 goals and assists in 4 matches. Since then, they've played another match. So it's 5 matches. But I found that there was a stat that Gabriel Pec actually leads the team in goal contributions in all competitions, and of course 5 of those goals are going to be from the Champions Cup against Mount Pleasant. But right. I mean he has produced. Again, the data does not lie, and he leads the team in goal contributions.
Yeah, I think we just want to see that form in the league, right? Not against I don't want to like ruffle some feathers, but against some farmers teams, right? In the Champions Cup, we got to see it against MLS competition, and I think he's starting to do that. So long may this continue. Long may this continue for sure.
Yeah, there's still a long way to go to get the Gabriel Pec 2024 back, but it's an encouraging start. And I mean, jeez, hopefully the upcoming match against SKC provides a willing canvas for him to go ahead and add to this. But we'll get to that in a moment. We want to go ahead and ask chat. We want to go ahead and ask you, chat. What do you think the key to maintaining Gabriel Pec's good form is, or getting him back to his 2024 level is? Go ahead and let us know. But Ananda, what do you think? What do you think the key now to unlocking him is?
I think we've just got to keep getting him in the right positions. Greg talked about it too, getting him away from the touchline, getting him closer to goal, right? So whether that's out to in runs, I think we need to put like the ball that Marco put him in for that first goal. That's where he needs to be. 1v1 against the defender. He can take the first touch outside the defender or inside, cutting in, unbalance them, unsettle them, and get a clean shot on goal. And then it's about repetition. Then it's about confidence. Then it's about, making sure that we find the back of the net. And that just comes with, I think this game is going to help Pec in that regard a lot. So that's one thing. But Papa, like, here's the other things. Like, we've got to see it against better opposition. I'm just going to say it, because Atlanta and SKC, like, they're not very good teams. So you want to see it against Seattle away. You want to see it against Houston at home, who absolutely pummeled Jack McGlynn special against LAFC, right, over the weekend. So those are, like, you want to see the big game moments. You want to see those moments in the bigger games, in the tougher competition. And then that's where we'll find the measuring stick for Gabriel Pec.
Yeah, it'd be great if he can continue on against SKC and then against Seattle. And well, we're getting ahead of ourselves here, but
Yep.
not only him, but the Galaxy as well. I mean, they have quietly put together a 3-game unbeaten streak. I did say they were 4 minutes away from putting together a 3-game winning streak. And it's a Galaxy team that has quietly, slowly but surely started to put the results together. So I guess that begs the question, are they starting to turn the corner? I mean, only one loss in the last 6 games, 11 out of 18 points. I mean, it's not great, but it's definitely not as poor as a lot of Galaxy fans thought this May was going to shape up at. And they're in a playoff spot. Finally, we can say that they're in a playoff spot. The big question is, can they sustain it until before the World Cup, or even improve upon that position? And speaking of positions, Ananda, what position do you think they need to be in the West to be considered a success before the World Cup break?
Problem with answering this question is we need to know how the other teams are going to do, right? So it's like I kind of focus on what the Galaxy can control. I mean, without looking at any of the competitive analysis, like I would say, like, if we can get into the automatic playoff positions before the World Cup break, that would be awesome. But I brought up the schedule. I look at that schedule now, and I would say that I think the Galaxy need I think they need 7 points out of the next 3, right? And that would make it, for me, I would say a pretty successful May. You look at you're saying that. So there's 2 things. One is you're getting at least 10 points out of the 15, which I predicted would be a success. I thought we were going to get less, but the Galaxy, they started off well. They got a point, at least against Vancouver. But here's the most important thing. I think the Galaxy, for them to really turn a corner, and by the way, it sucks that it's going to happen before a long break, but at least for this stretch, they just need to they need to keep this winning streak or this unbeaten streak going. They can't have an L in there. Like, I think going unbeaten for the rest of the month, I think that will give this locker room a world of confidence. I know it doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things. You've got 19 games left after the World Cup, but that would be a positive step towards building positive momentum. And then you go to the World Cup break, you get Klaus back, you get some of your important players back, you figure out what to do with Nasi, and maybe you refill that U22 position. You've got a lot of moving pieces now that you can go after in the transfer window. Sky's the limit. But I think an unbeaten streak would go a long way before the World Cup.
It Definitely would. From what do we all say? From your lips to the Lord's ears.
Yep.
There was a question in chat that I did really like. It was Tom Tremblay. He said, "We're all asking, have they turned a corner? But what does that mean specifically?" Tom, for me, it kind of just means them playing consistently decent. I mean, they're even
Getting results.
yeah, I mean, getting results when even getting results when you haven't played well and still finding a way to get a point on the road or something like that.
Yeah.
And even when you do cop an L, being like, you know what, they lost, but it was a competitive match. They didn't make the same effing mistakes that they make all the time. They lost to a worldie, or it was 1-1, or they got tied in the last minute by just like a wonder goal, things like that, right? Where you're not asking yourself like consistently all the time, what is the lineup going to be like? How are they going to play like? And all these questions that we were asking at the beginning of the season, now we're starting to see kind of like a little bit more of a consistently settled team, and we're starting to see it in the partnerships. We're starting to see Lucas Sanabria out there more. We're starting to see that center back partnership more. We're starting to see JT Marcinkowski be that number one consistently. So the spine is starting to take shape, and I guess that's what I mean what I say turning a corner or rounding into form, because there were matches. Ask Ronaldo. There were matches at the beginning of the year where we were in the stadium, and I was just, I would look at him and I'd be like, this doesn't thrill me at all. Like I am absolutely bored watching this soccer right now, and that's not the case right now at the moment. Like, and there are moments when I get that like that, but not overall.
Yeah, well, to be fair, like the first half or so of the Atlanta game kind of followed the same pattern. Like there wasn't, JT made a huge save. Atlanta had a disallowed goal. I mean, there wasn't anything to get my butt off my seat. And then Marco Reus came in the game and just completely flipped the game, right? And now you've got guys like Eric Tommy as well, who flipped the game on its head against Austin, remember, a few road games ago. So you have those chess pieces back. You have the stability of Jakub Lesnes. I think the Galaxy are in a position to turn the corner. They haven't turned it yet, but they should be in a better position with more stability now to turn the corner. And like I said, the results these next 3 games before the World Cup is going to tell me a lot and to help answer that question, yes or no. And the funny thing is, I won't even say they have fully turned the corner, because you know what's the prize for going winless or going unbeaten in May? A 2-month break. So then the Galaxy have to do it all over again. It's basically a new season. It's a 19-game season at that point.
Yeah, but at least they go in with the mentals, the high of putting together a good, a good last end of the campaign. Because let's face it, the beginning wasn't great. But if they had played at the beginning of the season like they're playing now, they would have gotten a lot more results. We do have a bunch of Cuneros in chat. It seems like they've been hurt, and I understand it. I mean, they're
PTSD is real. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, and I support you guys, taking it one game by game. I support you guys not getting carried away from a couple of wins or a couple of results. It's fair. This team has hurt us before. So I'll let you do you guys, but hope springs eternal. And that's what keeps this beautiful life worth living. And we always say on this podcast, it's the hope that kills you. Well, I am an eternal optimist. Hopefully I always remain so. And I'm starting to see the vision. At the beginning of the season, I was positively upbeat and optimistic. Now I'm very much less so, obviously, but again, I'm starting to see a Galaxy team that is starting to show us why they were constructed the way they were constructed, and hopefully they keep improving. Hopefully this isn't the final form that we see, because if it is the final form, then we do have a problem. but I don't believe it is the final form. Ananda, let's get into defending the badge candidates. This one could be really easy. I mean, Gabriel Pec did get the 2 goals. It could be really easy as well because Marco Reus came on and absolutely flipped this match. Or, you know, we could be having an outside shot by Garces, who put together a really nice defensive game, or Sergio, who came back and put together an even better defensive game. I don't know. I mean, we have a couple of candidates. We did mention Pec, Reus. Garces had the 3 tackles, 4 clearances, 2 interceptions, 8 recoveries, and 4 duels, 1, while Sergio had 2 tackles, 3 clearances, 1 interception, 5 recoveries, and 6 duels, 1. But, of course, we got to ask chat as well. Chat, who is your defending the badge winner? Let us know who took it for you, who was the Galaxy player who defended the badge in the best way. And Ananda, I guess we'll go to you to let us know who you're thinking.
Yeah, I'm going to keep this one super simple. It's Gabriel Pec for me. I think especially in the face of the scrutiny and the chatter around him not living up to his DP tag, especially this year and even last year. I mean, we were even having, not me personally, but the CFC guys, when we were on their channel, were having conversations about potentially putting Pec in the shop window, right? So I think in the face of all of that, he came up big this game, and he showed why he is a DP and why he was touted to be potentially, you know, the biggest transfer fee potentially for this league, right? And he's got to show that though consistently. This is one game, and he's got to show it over a set of 34. But I'm hoping this is the start of something and not just an anomaly in an otherwise, you know, other than CCC, in an otherwise down season for Pec so far. But hopefully this is the turnaround.
I like this comment here by Nightmare Ref for disallowing the first ATL goal. Yeah, that one was, you know, people. I
amen to ref disallowing goals, man. Amen to ref disallowing disallowing
yeah,
goals. That's all I'm gonna
say. Two of your teams came away on that one. Shout out to the refs, I guess. I also like this one by Joe13 Cool. It says, you can't always trust a Toxica, but you can always trust a Toxica to be Toxica. Greg, not going to fool me again. Comedy. Cuneros, I love it. You're on one tonight, and it's beautiful. I don't disagree. It's got to be Gabriel Pec, especially because you could tell the guy wants to do well.
Yeah,
I've said it a bunch of times that the guy, it's not a lack of effort. He hustles. He tries.
Sometimes too hard. That's the problem, right? So you just got to calm down in the final moments.
Yeah,
yep.
I think that is definitely the problem. And so it's gratifying to see him actually get the payoff from the work, because he's been putting in the work. So now he got the payoff. What is it that we've been talking about? Blending the performance with the result?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the living embodiment of Gabriel Pec right now at this moment. He put the performance finally with the result, and, you know, the Galaxy win. And when one or two of these players, Gabriel Pec and Joseph Paintsil, are playing well, the Galaxy are hard to beat. So anyway, we do have a couple shouts for defending the badge. JT from Sir Dave 72. Joe13 Cool said, yeah, what were you saying?
I was saying he's been really good. He
has been really good.
Happy he's the number. I'm glad that the Galaxy have settled on a number one keeper. Joe13 Cool says Reus, and it's not even close. I don't blame you, man. And Reus has been good. I'm glad I got to comment on the guy that called me out for saying that Reus was the best player on the Galaxy. This team with a man, your criticism has aged well, hasn't it? ... So that's it. You know, just let him speak.
Well, before Ananda lays more verbal smackdowns, let's hope. Well, first off, let's put a little bow on Atlanta. The Galaxy pick up those 3 points that were vital, and hopefully they can pick up 3 more points, because they head to Sporting Kansas City. They've faced Sporting Kansas City 75 times in league play. The Galaxy hold a 29, 28, and 18 advantage. On the road, they have a 10, 19, and 9 record in 38 matches. Last year, the Galaxy beat Sporting Kansas City 4-1 at home, and Sporting Kansas City beat the Galaxy 1-0 with no shots on goal. Do you remember that one, Ananda?
Yes, sir. Unfortunately.
that one was an ugly game. I said when that
This
happened,
needs to be
I said,
revenge now.
Yeah, I said when that happened, wow, I think I've seen everything in soccer now. I was wrong, but that one was a funny one. So this year, like Ananda said, the Galaxy need to get revenge because Sporting Kansas City has already beaten the Galaxy, and that's their only win of the year. So now the Galaxy need to get revenge. They were taken out at home, and so now the Galaxy need to return the favor. Only problem is they've won just two out of the last 14 matches at Sporting Park. But if there was any time to get a dub there, it is now. Sporting Kansas City is not looking good. For as much as the Galaxy faithful, for as much as the G's out there lament the state of the team, and I mean, legitimate.
Yeah,
you could always be worse. You could always support Sporting Kansas City.
As someone said in the chat earlier, Sporting Kansas City are a farmers team. So
yeah,
they're that bad. They are that
bad. Newsflash, they already beat the Galaxy this year. So let's look at where these two teams stand going into this one. After 12 games played, the Galaxy is in 9th place. They're finally in a playoff spot. They're on 16 points at 1.33 points per game tally, a 4-4 record, and they're on a 0 goal differential, 18 goals for, 18 goals against. Meanwhile, Ananda, it's all bad for Sporting Kansas City. Last place in the West after 11 games, 5 points, 0.45 points per game, a 1-8-2 record, 8 goals for, 32 goals against, a negative 24 goal differential. Their last match, I've already talked about it, was that 6-0 loss to Portland, and before that, they earned a momentary reprieve. It was the 1-1 draw with Seattle at home. Before that, it was 5-0 loss to Chicago. Before that, it was a 3-0 loss to Vancouver. And before that, they suffered the heartbreak and just the embarrassment of losing to the Colorado Switchbacks in the U.S. Open Cup 3-0. They've lost 7 of the last 8. And of course, I mentioned the draw against Seattle, the only reprieve, the sole exception there. They've conceded 18 goals in the last 5 matches. They haven't kept a clean sheet in 12. I did mention, of course, that their only win was against the Galaxy. But since then, they've only scored 4 times. And they've just scored once in their last 5, Ananda. This one, again, has a perfect opportunity for the Galaxy to get a win over Sporting Kansas City. And that's why it's going to be a trap game. Yay! Anyway, no, hopefully it's not. But you know what? You wanted to get into some rankings.
Well, I thought this was interesting because ESPN has the Galaxy at 9th. 9th, Papa. A top 3rd team, a top tier team in this league at 9th out of 30 teams in MLS. So I was just going to ask Chad. I mean, we can answer this ourselves even, but is this too high for the Galaxy? Do you think ESPN, they are smoking something over there, or are they not too far off? Like, I think for me, it's probably a little bit too high. I think the Galaxy are probably in the teens somewhere. Like, let's just put it this way: like MLS as of last week had the Galaxy in 15th. I think there's something somewhere in between. They're middle of the pack team. I think they're probably 9th in the West. That sounds about right. Just like the position, table never lies, right? But yeah.
Well, I'm gonna answer it like this, Ananda. You know me, and you know I have to answer that there's no such thing as being too high. But I do want to say that maybe 9th is not where I would put the Galaxy. So, in this case, they got to show a little more, show a little bit more consistency before I can go ahead and start placing them in the upper echelon.
Yeah, I agree.
Of the teams here. but it's nice to see the pundits kind of start to show him some respect and show him some love. That's nice.
Yeah, I'd like to see where the MLS power rankings come out yesterday. Maybe they'll go up a couple places. 13th, 14th? No, that sounds about right. Yeah, TM says 13th. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Nightmare says 9th place by ESPN is when I eat 300 milligrams of edibles. Maybe that's how they're writing over there. Who knows? But Sporting Kansas City, of course, is in 30th. That's
MLS pretty consistent. That's pretty consistent across ESPN and MLS power rankings. So let's get into the team news here.
Yeah, it's what we already know. Jacques Klaus, Juan Aude, Matias Sarmiento, and Ricky Puig were, they're all the long-term injuries. That continues to be so. And it's, again, you brought it up a couple of times. It's a shame that Greg is getting all these players back right when the World Cup break is right around the corner. But Sporting Kansas City, they have a couple of absences as well. Justin Reynolds, Kwaku Agyabang, Diego Borges, and Jansen Miller. And then we'll get into our predicted starting lineups, Ananda. I don't think much is changing for me. I think the only thing I changed is Yamane comes in. I think that's the only thing I changed.
Hoxario, no, yeah. Well, Reus at the false 9. So not JP at number 9. I think that was a big change, right? Reus at the false 9, and
not Reus to 5'9", but Reus to false 9.
Reus to Reus to true 9. Anyways, now the show is going over the rails. Yeah. So that was your. I thought that was your big. When I saw your lineup, I was like, okay, Rob's putting Reus in the false 9. Look, I think, and I'm going to read it out for the audio listeners. So Rob has Marcinkowski in goal, back four of Nelson, Garces, Glezos, and Yamane, midfield 3 of Hoxario and Sanabria, and then front 3 of Paintsil, Reus, and Pec. My changes is only basically Harbor for Justin Hack. So I went with a more offensive lineup. Everything stays the same. And my formation is a 4-1-4-1. So 2 8s. And Cedillo plays a lone 6. And my reasoning for this is I think Greg smells blood in the water. I think Sporting Kansas City is there for the taking. And so I don't think he's going to go defensive. I think he's going to say, screw the double pivot. I can have Eddie in there, just, patrolling and shielding the back four. And I'll have my guys, like, our best defense is going to be offense. Our best way to kill this game off is to really put the pressure and play our style of play, like exert our, what's the right word? Like, basically, like, force the issue, right? And play their style of game. And so I think Greg is going to really overload all the offensive zone and put numbers forward, especially with Reus and Sanabria in there. So that's my thinking. I just think that Greg smells blood in the water. They can show a little bit respect, but let's face it, SKC is not a good team. And so I think the Galaxy need to put this game away early.
Ananda, how long have we been covering this man, Gregorio Vanney? And have we ever seen him really go ahead and be out there and like you said, smell blood in the water and go for it, or what is it? Verbatim is what you said. Like, that's not Greg. And so I think the lineup that I present over here on the left kind of gives him the balance that he's looking for. He gives you the defensive stability with Hack and Cerrillo and Garces and Glesnes, but you also have a good range of passing with Hack and Glesnes to go ahead and progress the ball. And then you're having Reus in there from the get-go, because you're right, he does smell blood in the water, but he smells blood in the water, and so he's going to try to kill it off early. I mean, hopefully they can go ahead and work this lineup and get enough chances and to where they can go into the half 3-4-0 up, and then they could just take Marco Reus off.
I just don't think he does that with the lineup on the left. I think he does that with the lineup on the right, which is why I'm going with the lineup on the right. And so then I think we're agreeing that I think context matters. And in this particular case, SKC is a horrible team. They embarrassed the Galaxy. They embarrassed the Galaxy at home. I think the team and Greg has a little chip on their shoulder because of that. And I think because of all those things, the context matters. So I think Greg is going to pivot to his strategy And especially with the energy, and Harbor looked pretty good. Like you've always said, Papa, he's just got to fix his final ball, but he's always energetic and youthful. And like I said, I think Greg wants to force the issue. I think he doesn't want to give SKC any sniff, any chance, which is basically Dejan Jovic, right? But I think at that game at home, like the Galaxy just weren't on it. Like they just weren't on it, like mentality wise, the approach. And I think this lineup, I think there's something to be said about a lineup giving the players confidence too, and giving intent of like, okay, no respect. We need to kill this game off. Like we need to beat the living S out of these guys while they're down, because I mean, a team like Portland, who's below the Galaxy in the standings, absolutely murdered them 6-0. Why can't the Galaxy put their foot on these guys' throats early? And again, just don't give them any hope. But so I think I'm thinking of in that lens. We'll see on Wednesday night. But within any case, I hope the approach and the mentality is right, whichever lineup he goes with.
Yeah, well, you did call him out a moment ago. Dejan is pretty much their big offensive threat.
He'll get a goal.
Yeah, I mean,
let's just book it. Let's just book it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he will get a goal, but he's pretty much their offensive threat. I mean, a couple other players have a single solitary goal. Manu Garcia has an assist and a goal. So he look for him to try to lend some quality and get Dejan some service. But essentially, the Galaxy need to look out for Dejan, and like Aitana said, he'll score. And he'll try to score more than once. So they need to really watch him. This is not a hard defensive assignment. You know what to do. You know what you need to do. You know what the game plan is. So anyway, that's who SKC has kind of going for them right now. But even Dejan's kind of been going through a dry spell. Like we said, only 1 goal in 5 matches for SKC. Hopefully the Galaxy can add to that misery. But Aitana, let's go ahead and start wrapping this one up. And you know what that means. We will go ahead and get into score predictions here in a moment. But chat, start dropping your score predictions. Let us know what you think this match is going to end up at. Do you think the Galaxy will go ahead and get revenge over Sporting Kansas City and take the win? If so, let us know what the scoreline will be. Do you think that it'll be some more Kansas City Blues and they'll go ahead and cop the loss? Let us know. We'll go ahead and get there in a moment. But before we do, Aitana, you know what it is. For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to I
think I probably gave away my answer just talking about it earlier, but I'm going to put it this way. The Galaxy have to show no mercy. They need to show no mercy. And so whether that means killing the game off early, whether that means killing the game off late, I don't care. Just as long as the Galaxy show their intent, they put in big chance after big chance after big chance. They need to get more than 6 big chances like we saw the last game, because when the Galaxy are in that mode, they're a pretty damn good team. And the Galaxy need to show their superiority, no inferiority complex whatsoever. They need to establish that superiority early and often. And I think that will pave the way for a good foundation for the Galaxy to win this game. And I expect them to score multiple goals on this SKC team. They are not good. But if they show no mercy and come in with that attitude, I think they can get the job done. The Galaxy have the quality. Now they just need to put it together.
Yeah, do it for Natita, our special guest today. Yeah, man. I guess for the Galaxy to win this match, they have to more of the same. What they showed in the last, 35 minutes while Marco Reus came on. That's the team that needs to play. That's the team that needs to be out there. And of course, caveat, they need to start making better decisions. God damn it, in the final third. But anyway, that's the team that needs to show up. They need to be, like you said, ruthless. They need to be clinical. They need to be professional. They, on paper, should take care of this team. Now they need to go out and show it. And if they play like they played, in the last stretch of matches, they should get the job done. Now, like you mentioned, a goal fest would help the mentals, especially going into a tough Seattle match at the weekend. But yeah, they just need to more of the same. For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to have more of the same that they've shown in this stretch. Aitana, I do know that you and Dr. Riquinho were planning a trip up to Napa to look in on some investments that he had made. and he might not have time to look at win probabilities, but it looks like you guys did hook up. And anyway, I'm looking forward for you and he to tell me more about that Pinot Noir that he is so excited about.
Exactly. We hooked up over a bottle of Chardonnay and Pinot, so that was lovely. So anyways, guys, I will read off the win probabilities here for the audio listeners. And Papa, let's remember that the LA Galaxy is the road team in this particular case, and the bookies are giving the win probabilities for the Galaxy 49.2%, which is almost like the Galaxy are the home team. But as I remind you, the Galaxy are the road team. SKC.
It's like when Vancouver went to the digs.
Yeah. SKC at home is 27%. And usually, Papa, these win probabilities have been pretty bang on. Like if the Galaxy are anywhere above 35%, the odds are pretty good. So yeah. And then just a couple pre-match insights. There have been 3 or more goals scored in total in each of the LA Galaxy's 5 away games. Both teams have scored in the LA Galaxy's last 6. So again, 0-0. Even 1-1 doesn't seem like it's in the cards. There's gonna be at least 3 goals in this game, which I agree. And you know what? I'm just gonna go straight into it because I'm pretty set in what I want and what I demand, honestly. And the fact that the LA Galaxy should show no mercy, and I expect nothing less than a 3-1 scoreline. The one I'll give it to Dayon, right? Dayon with a goal, that's fine. Let's give him his customary goal, but I expect nothing less than a 3-1. Like. Whatever, plus 2 goal difference. 4-2, 3-1, 2-0. I don't think so because I think Dayon's going to score. But yeah, like that should be the scoreline. 3-1.
All right. Well, I don't disagree with you. I do think it's a Galaxy win. And I don't think a 3-1 and I don't think a shutout is out of the question either because I have seen that Glesnes and Garcia's partnership start to blossom. So
JT on form. Yep.
And JT on form. And I mean, if they do their job, SKC shouldn't score. I mean, only 1 goal in the last 5 matches. So, I mean, getting a shutout would be a massive start and a massive platform toward getting 3 points. And then, like you said, they should have the ability to score several goals. So marry the 2. And you should have a win, right? So yeah, I am calling a Galaxy win. I'm calling a 2-0 or a 3-1.
Yeah, and I think Chad agrees. Tranquilito says 3-1 Galaxy. Nightmare says Galaxy win 8-1 with SKC scoring all the goals. Beautiful. 3-1 Galaxy. I demand the W. I'm with you, eSuper. Tom says hard fought 2-1 Galaxy. I'll still take the 3 points. And
the train keeps rolling.
All we need is the 3 points, but I'd love to see the performance combined with the result, like Rob said earlier. 4-2 LA from TM. Joe 13 says 4-1. Pec scores again, and Dayon gets his customary 1. So there you go. I think we're all in agreement, which means this is no. I'm not going to even say it. No, I'm not throwing that juju out there.
I already said it.
I personally am not throwing that juju out there. The Galaxy, I think 3 points would keep the momentum going. It would make them peek around the corner a little bit more, and it'll help Galaxy fans start to answer a little bit more if they're turning the corner. But of course, Seattle and Houston will be much tougher tests. Galaxy just need to get the job done. 3 points.
Sure.
Get out of SKC.
And you know what? Like everything that we've talked about today, like, you know, to put a nice little bow on it, like, look, we've been asking all day today, like, have the Galaxy turn the corner. This is the kind of match that they need to be winning and need to be winning convincingly if, in fact, they have turned the match or if they have turned the corner. If they are starting to show us the vision, if they are starting to put things together for Greg Vanney, if these players are starting to form those partnerships, then this is a type of match that they should be easily winning. If they want to become the team that they say that they are, and on paper that they should be, then yes, this is the type of match that should be 3 points for the Galaxy. And you know what? Every road match in the league, we've heard a team say that is difficult. So let's go ahead and give them the caveat there. But yes, they should take this match. I mean, everything points to it. On paper, they should win it. On form, they should win it. SKC hasn't been good. And in our experience, this is the type of match. And we always talk about that trap game because it hasn't existed where the Galaxy have fallen exactly in this type of match where they have started to put things together and then they've gotten to a hurdle like this and inexplicably they've not shown up. Like I mentioned, for them to actually start to show that they have turned the corner, they need to win this one. Absolutely. For them and for Galaxy fans, they need to show it to themselves, win it for the mentals, and of course for the Galaxy fans. But I think that pretty much wraps it up for us, Ananda, on the next episode of this humble little podcast. Well, since all we've been talking about is the Galaxy's trip to Kansas City here to end the show, and we already told you that you need to starting a new post-match ritual, then join us on Wednesday directly after the match as we take you live and direct into the Galaxy's post-match press conference. And afterwards, of course, we'll have a mini instant reaction to follow. And then on Thursday, May 14th, we'll bring you a more official match reaction and then get you ready for the Galaxy's next away match against Seattle Sounders on Saturday, May 16th. Hopefully, we'll be talking about a winning streak going into that match. And remind you guys, this is the Galaxy's second to last match before going into the World Cup break. And then it's Houston at home. And then it's parting with such sweet sorrow for 2 months. But, of course, we'll still be around. We'll go ahead and give you guys a clue a little bit more into our programming for that stretch as it gets closer. But I think that's all there is left to say. And on anything else to add before we get on out of here?
Just want to say, chat, thanks again for joining us. We missed y'all for a little bit, but now we're back. And here is to the Galaxy getting 3 points in SKC. Vamos.
Hey, vamos. Join us on Wednesday, guys. Press conference jamboree. We'll see you there. I think there's only one thing left to say, right?
Other than we love you, chat.
Yeah, we do love you, chat. All right, here it goes. G